All right. So are you ready? We are really diving deep today.
Always ready.
Okay, good. We're tackling Keroy King's Letters to the Tribe.
Oh, yeah. I love this book.
Right. It's packed with such great stuff.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the parts you all flagged about hitting those big goals. I got to say, even just skimming this stuff, King doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Definitely King gets straight to the point, no sugarcoating.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about like positive vibes or anything. It's about really understanding like the mechanics of success.
Exactly. And one thing that really jumped out at me was this idea that sometimes even smart-driven people trip up because they haven't really like nailed down what they're aiming for.
Right.
It's almost like they're setting off on a road trip without a map.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. King's point is that a vague goal, like increase earnings, is basically useless. You need specifics. How much, by when, what are the milestones along the way?
Okay.
Otherwise, you're just drifting.
So that's where those 11 goal-setting steps come in, right?
Exactly.
I have to admit, when I first saw that list, I thought, ugh, another one. But some of these are surprisingly thought-provoking.
Oh, absolutely. Some are standard, sure. But King throws in these curveballs that really make you think.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's one that asks, is this goal believable to you?
Okay.
It seems so simple, but it gets at something really crucial. Self-sabotage?
Wait, unpack that a little.
Yeah.
What does believability have to do with self-sabotage?
Well, it's all about mindset. If deep down, you don't believe you can hit that goal, you're almost guaranteed to fail. It's like your subconscious is working against you, finding ways to prove yourself right.
Wow. Okay, I see that. It's like if you're terrified of public speaking, but you set a goal to give a TED Talk,
right?
You might consciously want it, but that fear is going to create all sorts of obstacles unless you address it.
Exactly. And King tackles that head on. Another step that impressed me was her focus on evaluating hurdles. It's not this fluffy ignore the negative stuff.
Yeah.
She's saying be realistic. What are the real challenges you'll face? And how will you navigate them?
That's a relief, honestly. So many success books feel like they're glossing over the hard parts.
Right.
It's like they're selling this fantasy that if you just think positive enough, nothing bad will ever happen.
Right. Life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
But King's approach is acknowledge them have a plan and don't beat yourself up when things get tough.
Okay. I'm already feeling like this is way more practical than I expected.
I know, right?
What else from those 11 steps really grabbed you?
Well, this one might sound obvious, but King's emphasis on joining relevant groups really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
It's that whole you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with idea.
Oh, I've seen that play out in my own life. Hanging out with people who are ambitious and supportive really does rub off on you.
Yeah.
But I also know people who've gotten dragged down by negative friends.
Right.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's research to back it up. Studies show that having mentors or even just peers who are working towards similar goals significantly increases your chances of success. It's accountability, inspiration, and practical advice all rolled into one.
So surrounding yourself with the right people is almost like a secret weapon. I like it.
Yeah.
But King doesn't stop at the goal-setting phase, right? She gets into the nitty-gritty of actually getting stuff done.
Oh, yeah. She dives into productivity, especially tailored for home-based entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Which I know is relevant for you.
Yes.
But honestly, the principles are universal.
That's what I was hoping. I work from home, but I feel like anyone could benefit from a productivity boost.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the highlights from that section?
Well, one that really hit home for me was King's line, freedom comes with responsibility.
Okay.
It's so easy to romanticize being your own boss.
Right.
But the reality is you're accountable for everything.
Oh, yeah.
No more blaming the boss or coworkers when things go wrong.
Okay, that's a good reality check.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that sometimes. It's empowering, but also a bit daunting.
Right. And King doesn't let you off easy. She brings in the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, which you've probably heard of.
Yeah.
But she makes it super concrete with a clothing example. You probably wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time.
Hold on. I think I see where this is going.
Exactly. Apply that to work. What are the 20% of your tasks that generate 80% of your results?
Okay.
Focus relentlessly on those and delegate or eliminate the rest.
Whoa. Okay. That's powerful stuff. It's not just about working harder.
Right.
It's about working smarter.
Right. And King has another gem I have to share.
Okay.
It's almost like a mantra for prioritizing tasks.
All right.
She calls it a filter system for urgency, and it's so simple, yet brilliant.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
King's filter is, Does this activity contribute to sales or not? If not, it gets bumped down the priority list.
Wow, that's sharp. And I bet you could adapt that to any goal, not just sales.
Oh.
Like, does this activity contribute to my health, my relationships, whatever it is you're aiming for?
Exactly. It's about cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly moves the needle. And another thing King emphasizes is the power of a solid morning routine.
Well, I knew she was going to go there. Every productivity guru swears by morning routines.
Right.
But sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure to be superhuman before the sun's even up.
But King's take on it is less about ticking off a million boxes
Right.
and more about setting the tone for your day.
Okay.
She talks about incorporating things like devotional time, physical activity, even just taking a moment to appreciate the sunrise.
Okay. I'm liking that approach a lot more.
Yeah.
It's not about forcing yourself into some rigid schedule.
Yeah.
But about finding what energizes you and sets you up for a productive, focused day.
Exactly. It's about intentionality, which is really at the heart of King's whole approach to success. It's not just about hustling and grinding. It's about being mindful of your time and energy and making choices that align with your goals and values.
I'm already getting so much out of this deep dive, and we haven't even touched on roadblocks yet, which I have a feeling is where things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe we should save that for the next part because there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so roadblocks. Ready to dive in?
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
Okay, so this is where I think King's perspective is really valuable. You know, it's not all like sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
She acknowledges that like stuff happens.
Right.
Things we can control and things we can't.
And I think that's such a relief to hear. So many success gurus act like any obstacle is a sign of like personal weakness.
Right.
It's almost like they're blaming you for not manifesting a perfect life.
Exactly. But King's take is more nuanced. She gets that sometimes. You know, it's not about you not trying hard enough.
Okay.
It could be a bad economy, an unexpected illness,
Right.
even just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, so she's acknowledging that like those external forces exist. But what about the internal stuff? I mean, we all have those moments of self-doubt, procrastination.
Yeah.
Those definitely feel like personal roadblocks.
Oh, absolutely. And King dives into those too, and her insights are really valuable.
Okay.
One that struck me was this slow implementation trap.
Ugh.
It's that thing where you have a great idea,
Yeah.
but you never actually get started because you're waiting for the perfect moment.
I am so guilty of that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a master of overthinking and planning, but then the actual doing part, not so much.
But you know, King's point is the perfect moment rarely exists.
Right.
It's often just disguised fear or procrastination. Her advice: start messy, start imperfect, but just start. You can adjust and refine along the way.
That's a good kick in the pants.
Yeah.
It's like that saying done is better than perfect.
Exactly. And another roadblock King highlights is the wrong inner circle.
Okay.
It's that classic idea that you become who you surround yourself with.
Right.
But she doesn't just say ditch your negative friends, you know. She gives you like a framework for assessing who's truly supporting your growth and who might be holding you back.
Okay, I need that framework because sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like, what are the signs that maybe someone isn't the best influence, even if they're not outright negative?
King talks about paying attention to how you feel after spending time with someone.
Okay.
Do you feel energized and inspired?
Yeah.
Or drained and deflated?
Oh.
Are they genuinely happy for your successes? Or do you sense a hint of jealousy or negativity?
Wow, those are good questions.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about a few relationships I might need to reevaluate.
It's not about like cutting people out of your life necessarily,
Right.
but about being mindful of who you give your energy to.
Yeah.
And another thing King mentions is looking at whether the people in your circle are growing themselves.
Okay.
Are they challenging themselves, learning new things? Or are they kind of stuck in a rut?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought about it that way before. But it makes sense. If everyone around you is complacent, it's going to be harder for you to break out of your own comfort zone.
Right. You want to be around people who are pushing you to be your best self, who are celebrating your wins, and who are also on their own journeys of growth and expansion.
Okay, that's some serious food for thought.
Yeah.
But I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, those external roadblocks, the things we can't control. King uses the pandemic as an example.
Yeah.
But I think that applies to so much more than just like global events.
Absolutely. It could be a sudden job loss, a family crisis, a natural disaster.
Right.
Life throws curveballs, and sometimes those curveballs completely derail our plans, no matter how well prepared we are.
And I think that's where King's concept of times and seasons comes in, right?
Yeah.
I remember you teased that in the first part, and I'm really curious to hear more.
Okay.
It seemed like a really profound idea, but also maybe a bit abstract.
It is profound, but it's also surprisingly practical once you understand how to apply it.
Okay.
What King is getting at is that there are these larger forces at play in our lives, rhythms and cycles that we can't always predict or control.
Okay. I'm following so far. But how do we actually figure out what season we're in? Is there some like cosmic calendar we can check?
Not exactly. King talks about cultivating a sense of self-awareness, being in tune with your energy levels, your intuition, your emotional state.
Okay.
And also paying attention to external cues.
So it's a combination of internal and external factors.
Exactly. Let's say you've been working on a project for months and you've hit a wall.
Yeah.
You're no longer excited about it. You're doubting yourself. You're just not making progress.
I've been there. It's the worst feeling.
King would say that could be a sign you're in a season of rest or reassessment.
Okay.
Maybe it's time to step back, let the project simmer, and see what emerges.
Okay.
It's not giving up.
Right.
It's about being strategic with your energy and aligning yourself with the natural ebb and flow of life.
That's such a different way of looking at it. Instead of beating myself up for feeling stuck,
Yeah.
I can reframe it as like a necessary pause.
Yeah.
It's almost like giving myself permission to not be on all the time.
Exactly. And sometimes that pause is exactly what you need to allow new ideas to percolate, to gain clarity on what truly matters, and to come back to the project with fresh eyes and renewed energy.
Okay, I'm really starting to see the power of this times and seasons concept.
Yeah.
It's like instead of constantly trying to swim upstream, you learn to flow with the current even when it takes you in unexpected directions.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And King emphasizes that sometimes those periods of uncertainty, those times when we feel lost or unsure, are actually opportunities for growth and transformation.
Okay.
It's in those moments when we're forced to confront our fears and step outside our comfort zones that we often discover our greatest strength and resilience.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether, but about learning to navigate them with wisdom and grace.
Exactly. And King doesn't shy away from the fact that sometimes the wisest course of action is to walk away from something that's no longer serving you, even if it means starting over.
Wow.
She acknowledges that quitting can be an act of courage, a way of honoring your own growth and evolution.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It goes against everything we're usually told about success, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes holding on too tightly to a goal or a dream can actually hold you back from something even better.
Right. It's about trusting your intuition, being honest with yourself about what's truly important, and having the courage to course correct when needed.
This whole conversation is making me rethink my definition of success. It's not just about hitting external markers. It's about being aligned with your values, being adaptable, being resilient, and having the wisdom to know when to push forward and when to surrender.
And that's where King's insights on integrity come in.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think ties everything together beautifully.
You haven't even talked about that yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. King seems like someone who walks her talk, you know? Like she's not just spouting theories, she's living these principles.
You can definitely feel that authenticity in her writing.
Yeah.
She's not preaching from a pedestal. She's sharing her own journey, her own struggles, her own hard-won wisdom.
Okay, well, I'm definitely hooked. Let's dive into this integrity piece, because I have a feeling it's going to be the perfect way to round out this deep dive. All right, so integrity. Let's talk about it.
It's a big one.
I have a feeling this is where, like, King's wisdom really hits home. It's one thing to set goals and hustle, but what's the point if you're not being true to yourself in the process?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. King's take on integrity is all about aligning your actions with your values.
All right.
It's not just about like being a good person.
Yeah.
It's about that deeper level of self-respect, you know?
Okay.
Knowing that your word is your bond.
Okay. I love that because sometimes it feels like the world rewards people who cut corners or bend the rules.
Yeah.
But King seems to be saying that like true success is built on something much stronger, something more internal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She talks about honoring commitments,
Oh, okay.
both to yourself and to others.
Yeah.
It's about showing up consistently even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. It's about doing the right thing even when it's not the easy thing.
That resonates with me so deeply because I've been in situations where I've compromised my values for the sake of a quick win, and it always backfires.
Right.
You might get ahead in the short term, but you lose something much more valuable, your own sense of integrity.
And that erodes trust, both with yourself and with the people around you.
Yeah.
King emphasizes that integrity is like the foundation of any successful endeavor, whether it's a business, a relationship, or even just your own personal growth.
It's like that saying, character is what you do when no one is watching.
Right.
It's about those small, everyday choices that ultimately define who you are.
And King believes those choices have a ripple effect. When you act with integrity, you inspire others to do the same. It creates a culture of trust and respect, which ultimately leads to greater success for everyone involved.
So it's not just about personal gain. It's about creating a positive impact on the world around you. I love that. It's like integrity is this secret ingredient that elevates everything you do.
Exactly. And, you know, King's insights on integrity really tie everything we've been discussing together.
Yeah.
It's about setting goals that are aligned with your values, pursuing them with passion and perseverance, but never compromising your integrity along the way.
It's about being both ambitious and ethical driven and kind, successful and authentic. It's not an either proposition.
Right.
You can have it all.
And it's a truly inspiring message. It's about redefining success, not just in terms of external achievements, but also in terms of inner alignment, character, and the positive impact you have on the world.
Wow, this deep dive has been so much richer than I expected.
Yeah.
We've gone from practical goal-setting tips to these profound insights about the nature of success and the importance of living with integrity.
It's amazing how much wisdom King packs into these letters to the tribe.
Right.
She doesn't shy away from the hard stuff, but she always offers a path forward, a way to navigate the challenges and emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self.
And I think that's the perfect note to leave our listeners on. So as you go about your day, consider this.
Yeah.
What season are you in right now?
Good question.
And what does that mean for your goals, your dreams, your aspirations?
Are you planting seeds, nurturing growth, harvesting the fruits of your labor, or perhaps resting and reflecting?
Ooh, I like that.
The answer to that question can guide your actions, your energy, and your direction.
And remember, no matter what season you're in, approach it with integrity, with intentionality, and with the unwavering belief in your own ability to create a life that is both successful and fulfilling.
That's the true essence of King's message, and it's a message that resonates deeply with me, and I hope it does with you too.
This has been an incredible deep dive. Thanks for joining us.